Thank you.
Thank you.
For having me on, Leland. Yeah.
Here we are. Here we go. What does advising consent mean to you?
Well, just what it stands. I mean, obviously, we have a conversation about where we're moving to, and the consent is, hey, let's go ahead. It's kind of like my marriage works, advising consent.
Okay, I guess that your marriage may be different. Rubber stamp, I'm not really sure.
Well, I mean, I need to advise my wife what I'm doing, and I need to get her permission before I move forward.
Okay, fair enough. There we go. Look, Matt Gaetz, I think, seemed to sort of shift the narrative as we move through the past 24 hours on sort of the surprise level,
right,
to put it gently, of the picks. You've been a man who's known to speak your mind, as you did about Matt Gaetz back in April. Take a listen.
This is a guy that the media didn't give a time of day to after he was accused of sleeping with an underage girl. There's a reason why no one in the conference came and defended him, because we had all seen the videos he was showing on the House floor that all of us had walked away of the girls that he had slept with. He'd brag about how he would crush ED medicine and chase it with an energy drink so he could go all night. This is obviously before he got married. And so when that accusation came out, no one defended him, and then no one on the media would give him a time of the day.
I don't know how this relates to advising consent in your marriage, but when it comes to advising and consent of the United States Senate to the President of the United States, how could you say that about him and then vote for him as Attorney General?
You know, I respect President Trump's appointments and what he's doing here.
Okay.
He has done a phenomenal job from picking the vice president to the nominations he's put forward, so I trust his decision-making. And Matt's got a lot of questions he's got to answer, obviously, but that's why we had the hearings, and he's got to go through the Judicial Committee before it even gets to the floor for me to even have an opportunity to vote. There's no question, Matt and I, obviously, we don't necessarily see eye to eye. But I will do my due diligence out of respect for the president. I'll keep 100% open mind, and then.
So that's not a yes.
Well, there's a process that's got to go through. There's a lot of questions that still have to be answered. But that's why we had these committee hearings, and that's where the confirmation process goes through. And I do believe that everybody, all the Republicans, will have an open mind with all the nominations that move through. I will say, and want to reiterate it, I trust the president and his decision-making. The president, I haven't talked about this at all. We haven't had a single conversation about it. And I think it did catch a lot of us off by surprise, Leland, without question. And I think caught a lot of his colleagues on the House side by surprise. It definitely caught their attention when he resigned immediately, too. And I think on the Senate
when you're
side,
saying he resigned immediately, Matt Gaetz just turned in his resignation,
right, to resign
from the House.
Yes, yeah.
Which
Thanks
is
for clarifying
kind of unusual for a nominee. For Mike Waltz, Congressman, now National Security Advisor, has not.
If you know Matt, really not, because Matt's one of these guys that's all in.
Okay.
When he goes.
This is Cortez burning his ships, right? This is.
Yes.
I'll be Attorney General or not.
Yes.
You said you trust President Trump. Is there anyone that he could nominate to a cabinet-level job that you would say, I'm sorry, that's just a bridge too far?
Even with President Biden, when they nominate somebody, it's our job to do a due diligence to.
Did you vote for any of Biden's nominees?
There's some I have voted for,
okay.
But of course I'm talking to the state. I'm doing my on any of this. I do my due diligence. Even with promotions inside the military, which we have, it's sitting on the House Armed Services, we have direct oversight of. I do my due diligence with every single promotion that comes across my desk.
You know President Trump well. You've been a big supporter of his.
Very well.
And a confidant.
I consider him a friend.
And he said great things about you. Eric Erickson, conservative commentator, just put this on Twitter. I think Matt Gaetz is a brilliant pick, which I think would surprise anyone if you know Eric Erickson to have him say that. Trump just improved the morale of the House GOP with Gaetz's departure. Gaetz won't get the votes in the Senate, and the Oppo dump will end his 2026 gubernatorial bid. But Trump gets to claim he had Gaetz's back, and all of Trump's AGs will become fall guys who MAGA turn against, so a recess appointment would only further destroy Gaetz, all while Trump looks to have rewarded his best friend. We're always told Donald Trump's playing 4D chess. Is there something to that?
I don't think so at all. President Trump.
So this isn't a sacrificial lamb.
President Trump doesn't play that way. He actually respects Matt, even though everybody's got some controversy they carry. And I don't think he would ever do that. That's not how President Trump is. He doesn't.
Oh, come on.
No, I know the guy well, and I'm telling you, I consider him a very good friend. there is zero chance that President Trump would do that.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.